are you sure you want to open up Ukraine's Pandora's box over here? Because it's not going to affect Donald Trump. It's going to affect the Democrats. And people like Barack Obama have to speak about it. People like Joe Biden have to speak about it. And there's also somebody else. Adam Schiff has to speak about it. Because you know why, fam? Adam Schiff has long ties to Ukrainian oligarchs. Check it out over here. We have July 18th, 2013. Fam, that date is 2013. That's before the regime change, before the European U.S.-backed coup with George Soros, and guys like Igor Pasternak, who have connections to George Soros. He had a fundraiser for Adam Schiff over here, and look at it, July 18, 2013, at the house of Igor Pasternak, the taste of Ukraine reception. $2,500 a plate, fam. Can you afford it?
People friendly.
Oh, yeah. And look at the nice little lovely flyer they made. Oh, how so nice. Adam Schiff having a fundraiser by Igor Pasternak, our friend, and somebody who's been doing some great work on this is the Duran. I talk about the Duran. It's a great source to go to. There's guys like Kevin Zeese who just did an awesome show. The Duran. If you look into the Duran, they got some great stuff, and they point out these connections between these oligarchs. And, you know, right there it is. Adam Schiff's collusion with oligarch, Ukrainian arms dealer, exposed. And we said this before you start opening up this impeachment inquiry. You better watch out because they're trying to distract again. And the truth is the truth, whether it's coming from Donald Trump's mouth, whether it's coming from a Republican's mouth, whether it's coming from anybody's mouth. The truth is the truth. And you cannot deny these connections. And also, Adam Schiff had a lot of connections to George Soros, mainly for MoveOn.org. Fam, what's MoveOn.org?
Fam, MoveOn.org is pretty much another centrist think tank type of organization. They were created during the Clinton administration, during the whole impeachment process, if we remember. And we actually looked up, because we want to show the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party, right?
Yeah, really.
We want to show how that's so important, because it's going to define whether or not they're willing to listen to the people. And if we go back to Time Machine and we go back all the way to 1998 and we look at what was shown there, how the Democrats treated
today,
impeachment.
by the way.
This is today, and how they're for impeachment. MoveOn.org.
Yeah. Hit me up on Facebook. They hit me up on Twitter. Hey, where do you stand on impeachment? And then we go back to the Wayback Machine, right? 1998.
And, of course, what Pasa was getting at is that MoveOn.org was created to censor and move on, to completely ignore things. There we go. They are asking if there are any Republicans that are sick and tired of impeachment, because what they wanted to do was they wanted to completely blow off impeachment. If you guys recall, they were completely against the impeachment of Bill Clinton for what would be now considered a form of sexual assault, a form of sexual harassment, which now the Democrats are constantly crazy about. They're constantly like the Me Too movement and anything, of course, related to that. And I'm not dismissing that movement, but I am saying I'm showing the hypocrisy of the situation, because Monica Lewinsky was vilified and belittled by the entirety of the Democratic Party. And if things were flipped, exactly, Hillary Clinton, of course, denounced the women that wanted to protect her. She was completely complicit in all of this.
Think about it too. She was a 22-year-old girl, and Bill Clinton was 50, right? Okay, so now this is your boss. It's abuse of power. And I was in the restaurant business, and I was a manager, and I really got some inside information on this, and I saw some things. I walked into restaurants, and I would go from restaurant to restaurant, and I walked to restaurants where we had problems where the manager was having sex with a waitress, and she would hold it over her head, okay? And he would use that. And if he didn't get his favors, she wouldn't get the schedule. Okay, so you could just see it. And I explored situations like this. And I also explored situations where they went out drinking and where the girl took advantage of the guy too as well. You know, the manager, whatnot in hand and everything. But 9 times out of 10, it's not about sexual things. It's about power. You know, about control. And men would do that. So if you think for a second that this is Bill Clinton, who's your boss, and she's a 22-year-old girl, and what kind of corner she was put into. We said back then, oh, it's just a BJ. This happens all the time. But if you think about it today now, it's pretty disgusting. And the whole sentiment behind Move On was like, okay, censor, look at it, and then move on.
Right.
Well, you know, he was our boss. Hey, just move on. But yeah, you know, maybe he, you know, just move on. Censor it and move on. Don't impeach. And here's the difference between all these people saying Bill Clinton was impeached and Nixon was impeached. Here's the thing. Nixon was guilty. Bill Clinton was guilty. What is Donald Trump guilty for inside this impeachment?
Inside this situation.
Inside this situation. Listen, if you want to impeach him on emoluments, go for it. I'm down. I've always been down for that. The businesses in Saudi Arabia, the business inside the Golan Heights, the businesses in Israel that Trump is connected to, you can get them on the emoluments clause. We say this now, and we've said it before, and we'll say it again. They won't do it. Why? Because the Democratic leadership, guys like Adam Schiff, okay, who are guilty of sin. This is part of the emoluments clause. Getting money for favors in politics, okay, enriching yourself, having businesses. This is what it's all about, and they're guilty of sin. And we've said this before. You're going to open up Pandora's box. It's not going to work. And Schiff has plenty of connections to Soros as well. But fam, I have a question, and I want you to answer this here because this is a serious question. I saw Kevin Zeese on Lauren Steiner's show the other day. And I had to watch it because it was amazing. Because I love Kevin Zeese, and I haven't seen Kevin Zeese work. It's great. And Lauren even did a pretty decent job with the interview, too. I want to give her kudos for having the interview. Yeah.
Or Warren? Okay.
Lauren. Well, Warren Steiner. I mean, Lauren Steiner. Just kidding. She did a good job. But Kevin Zeese talked about it. And I was really into it because I follow him on a lot of affairs. You had him on the show before when he was in the embassy.
Exactly.
I hope Kevin Zeese will come back and talk to us again. And I really loved his analysis. The only problem is that I think today, fam, people don't realize that impeachment and politics itself, you have to take the eraser, you have to wipe the board. It's a different spectrum. It's a different game. And he suggested, and some other people suggested, that they take their time in this impeachment and they slow roll it out. I'm of the person who says it's going to be devastating if they take their time on this. Because Ukraine Gate is going to turn into Biden Gate and everything that's happened. And there's a lot of Democrats involved, and there's a lot of situations to question Obama. It's just going to continue to make them look bad. Do you think if they draw this process out, it will be helpful or hurtful?
No, it's going to be hurtful because not only are we not, we're in the middle of an election here and you're diverting attention away and people are noticing what you're doing. You're going to push people away into the Republican Party. You're also going to push Trump's base who already likes him. You're going to push Trump as a martyr. You're going to, because they are. I mean, I have to agree with Donald Trump here, and I hate, like I told you, I hate to say that, but like they really don't have anything to impeach him on right now in this situation that they're trying to impeach him on. Like they don't have it. The person that should be questioned more than anybody is Joe Biden, and the person who obviously this is my point of view, is that Adam Schiff knew that the whistleblower, that he insisted the whistleblower to come out. But everything, of course, is being turned around as if Trump is doing it because that's what's beneficial. This isn't about defending Donald Trump. This is about exposing the corruption because there are deals, like Pasta was talking about, people in the Democratic Party that have been involved with Ukraine, like Adam Schiff. And Adam Schiff completely lied in front of people, conjectured this whole play, this whole freaking really bad, like, gangster movie script.
Yeah.
And pretended and acted like, it was so terrible.
It was bad. And it was really, it's misleading and it's terrible, and it makes you think that these people are out for control.
And then you find out the connections that he has with Ukraine. Then you find out the connections he has with George Soros. You find all these connections and you realize there's no way that he doesn't have a stake in this.
Yeah.
That he's not just, they're not diverting attention away from them because it just so happens that a lot of these neoliberals have these ties.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not that the Republicans don't have their own things, but a lot of these neoliberals put in different areas. Yeah. Exactly.
We always said this, like, the Republicans get a lot of money from the NRA, a lot of Christian right groups, stuff that's within the United States. There's a lot of small, groups that give these people a lot of money. But when it comes to your foreign policy right nowadays, it's been shifting, and it's been going more towards, the Democrats. When the Clintons came along and the Clinton Initiative and the Global Initiative and whatnot, they really switched to a lot of money from oligarchs and for people who have business dealings outside the United States, like Igor Pasternak. I knew who Igor Pasternak was, but I didn't know that Adam Schiff had a fundraiser with her. Can you put up that flyer one more time? Because I really wanted to sink in, because you can go look and see how Igor Pasternak, his businesses, they're connected to George Soros. He threw a fundraiser for Adam Schiff at $2,500 a plate. Okay?
Isn't that like him meddling in our country?
Listen.
So hold on, real quick. So the reason we brought up the MoveOn.org is because they financed
Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff.
Yes.
And that was from this article, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get to show this article.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you put it. Adam Schiff, aided by Soros Finance Group, related to Soros, Ukrainian's art dealer. It's all connected. These people are doing business with each other all around. That is why I was so upset when Tulsi switched her position on this particular impeachment, because it's about regime change.
On the inquiry.
On the inquiry. I didn't want her to be a part of it all, because here's what I'm saying. It's going to you're opening up Pandora's box, and the only people who are going to pay for this are the Democrats. You're going to lift up Donald Trump. You have to realize politics nowadays. It's not like it was before. If you let this process draw out and you try to extend this, the longer you go, the more information will come out on Democrats like Adam Schiff. Okay, Adam Schiff. I can always say it wrong. Like Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? These things are going to come out, and there's going to be more information for Joe Biden, and people are going to start looking at what happened in 2014. Okay? And I want them to, but I don't want anybody standing. If you're an adult, you get away from this. This is not what you want to impeach him on. You want to impeach him on emoluments, you go for it. You stay away from Ukrainegate, because you're only going to lift him up.
Notice how they don't mention when he was trying to stoke war with Iran as a reason to go after him either. They're not going to do that because it's not convenient for them either.
Yeah. And, you know, I did a report yesterday on the Houthi rebels, what's going on in Iran, possible peace dealings. These are the things we got to look for, because Adam Schiff is always perpetuated regime change. He did it in Syria. He did it in Libya. I once have a tweet where I caught him talking on Al Jazeera. Clinton and Obama couldn't bomb fast enough for him. He was out there. I hope the administration moves along. This guy is a deep state hack, warmongering piece of crap paid for by the establishment. Somebody needs to run against this guy, primary him, and get him out of there. I know there's a Republican that's in that district that's talking about it. We need a good, progressive, independent-minded thinker to go in there, purge votes, and get this guy out of office. He's bad news, Adam Schiff, and thank you for your little drama appearance. Xavier Foster says on the MCSC network, when you're accurate, you're not wrong, fam. Johnny, do we have the Donald Trump commercial ready? Because I just want to show this before we get on to the next point, because this impeachment is just bad news for the Democrats. It's going to kill them. It's really good. Maybe it's good because it will really finally expose them for who they are, because that's going to come out of it. Yeah. But Donald Trump is already campaigning on you dummies. Take a look at his new ad.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him, and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
They used that footage from
Pelosi.
The footage that we
used.
Yeah. Exactly. You
use all that footage. Listen, it's a different game, ladies and gentlemen. The TV channels don't control everything. They have a lot of still a lot of pull and a lot of power and a lot of persuasion. But independent media is here. People are off the grid. They're looking at stuff that they're not gonna be able to control this. This is gonna get out of hand, and they're gonna really screw them up.
There's been an awakening, and obviously, until people had been watching CNN, MSNBC, ABC, it just you're brainwashed. I mean, you believe it because you trusted that the fourth estate was there to represent the people, and then when you look at and you start questioning everything, you start noticing that these people are all paid millions of dollars, and they're paid this much money because they are paid by these corporations that own the narrative that you are supposed to believe in. This is why we get demonetized, because we're literally telling you things that these people want you to believe are lies. They want you to believe their conspiracy theories. Why do you think they fired people from MSNBC for wanting to interview Bernie Sanders, for wanting to have a fair point of view? These journalists who are still, trying to fight within, there's a few of them, but the bottom line is that they continuously lie to the American people, and they just keep regurgitating these lies until people believe them and start repeating them. And that's what happens. We have to break the cycle. We absolutely have to stop and question every single thing, every single narrative, and stop assuming that because they're Democrats, they're right.
Yeah.
And because the Republicans are wrong. We are in no way, shape, or form promoting Donald Trump, but that that video is not only going to get Republicans to support Trump, that's going to get other people who are undecided to support Trump when
Independents,
exactly when they see that the Democratic Party is lying to them and is thinking that they're stupid enough to believe these lies and is not taking accountability for anything since 2016. They haven't learned their lesson. Why should you vote for them? That's exactly what this impeachment is doing. And he's right. In a way, it is awakening us, and it is making us be more questioning of everything that's been happening. And that needs to happen in order for us to actually have a true revolution. It's not just a revolution on the ground. It's also a mental revolution.
Yeah. The more they do this, the more every day they do this, every day they look worse and worse and worse, and more dirt will come up, and the more they look like hypocrites, and the more they help Donald Trump's reelection. Just like, listen, Bill Clinton was guilty. He had sexual relations. I did not have sexual relationships with that woman. Oh, damn, she had proof. I did have sexual relationships with that woman. Guilty as sin, right? Okay, but he still, the impeachment shot up his approval numbers, okay? It's going to have the same effect for Donald Trump because there is a question mark. And fam, I do want to digress real quick before I say hi to some people online. We do have a super chat real quick. Here is the area where there is a loophole. Fam, you came out yesterday.
Yes,
we talked about
I did.
it. Let's talk about this because he did withhold aid. Nowhere in the transcript of the phone come for Ukraine.
$400,000. Yes, $400,000 he withheld for a moment.
For a little. Was it 400,000? Was it whatever the case may be? He withheld it, but then he released it in September. Okay? After the phone call. Now, they said, why did you hold on to it? Not Donald Trump has been threatened to take away aid from all these countries. Even when he was campaigning, he says, we got to stop giving these. I don't want to be the country that people are, we're the sucker country. And with Obama, we're the sucker country. I don't want to give them the money. They have corruption. I don't want to give them the money. I don't want to give money to Honduras. I don't want to give them. He's always threatening to pull aid. So that is the one loophole where the Democrats are saying, well, he withheld the aid. After the phone call, he gave the aid. Mm-hmm. So that is the area where they're going to, that's the only area I can see where they can try to hang Donald Trump on. And that's going to be a hard sell. Because, like, again, Donald Trump has always said he wants to withhold aid. He's a nationalist, right, fam? He's not a globalist. He's more of a nationalist mentality.
He's a nationalist.
He's got some global ideas, but he's more of a nationalist, and he doesn't want to give away our money. He'd rather hold it here and give it to his rich friends.
Right.
Not the American people, but the rich friends.
Yeah.
He wants to keep it at home.
It is because Donald Trump is a nationalist and he's, in a way, has these authoritarian, fascist kind of views that he's going to keep that money. Like, he'll be making choices like that. Now, you can argue that he shouldn't have the ability to do that. You can argue that it's not fair, that there is some sort of maybe connection to that, and you can explore that. But to say that it goes beyond that, and like, it's going to be very difficult to even prove that because of what happened prior to that, how the Ukrainian government was actually wanting to investigate, was actually wanting to reach out, actually reached out to us, and we completely blew them off because why? We didn't want them to investigate because it involved other people. It didn't involve Trump. It involved Biden and the Democrats. So they completely blew it off.
I think there was also, too, like Giuliani went there, started snooping around, started getting down over there, trying to find stuff. After we heard the first time where they tried to get the information to Rubinstein, they tried to get the information to Sessions, their visas were denied because they had the the Obama appointee as the ambassador to Ukraine who denied the visas of the head prosecutor to come on over. And I think that kind of signals for some people to go over there and start seeing what's going on. Once again, there's nothing illegal that Donald Trump did in that phone call. I think that's the only area the Democrats will have. That's a slim area. I would have never made a choice to do it, but I think they're trying to make it a red herring and deflect from what really went on in the Ukraine where they're guilty as sin. Adam Schiff being one of them. Today's topic, Adam Schiff and the money. And this all happened in 2013. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I know that you can say there's not exact proof, but where there's smoke, there's fire. This guy's having a fundraiser for $2,500 a plate.
There's absolute proof that Adam Schiff has connections to the Ukraine. Yeah. I mean, that is absolute proof. And there's even more proof of Biden's connection and of what he did. He blatantly tells you what he did.
That's my boy.
He made a good comment.
What do you say?
Trump and numerous other U.S. officials are guilty of violating sections of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of of the crime of genocide.
Okay, but what does that have to do with this specific case?
I mean, maybe he wants to get Trump that way, right?
Well, yeah, I get it, but if we're going to apply,
which genocide is he talking about?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Armin,
but,
are you on the was he on the Facebook or?
No, he's on the YouTube.
You're on our YouTube? Okay.
Okay, so I'm not sure, and I'll look it up. But
we could definitely get Trump on emoluments.
Dude, you can get him on emoluments. He's dead. Listen.
Nobody's against getting him. It's how they're doing it,
Yemen.
and what they're focused on, and why they're doing this.
The Russia gate was bullshit, and this Ukraine gate is directed in the wrong the wrong person.
Yeah, we can't use this to get something else, because then it's
Yemen.
It can be used against us.
But once
they can turn around and do the same thing. Like it's not in a court of law that it wouldn't hold up. You can't use one other crime to punish somebody for something else. Like it's just that you have to prove it.
And once again, Armin, with that situation, you're going to have to go back and go after Obama. Obama started that war. He funded the Saudi regime back then that waged this war, and it continued to wage this war. So it's going to be a really hard sell. Once again, and the same thing when it comes to emoluments, fam. The reason why they won't go after him on emoluments is because Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Schumer, all these people are going to have to explain how they made millions and millions of dollars while in office. And like the great FDR said, the only way to make money in public service and as an elected official is to be corrupt. Yep.
They took the money. And you can't change the system by taking its money. Famously said by Bernie Sanders. Spam.
Yes.
Another super chat?
Yes, we do. Giovanna Liviana. And really quick before I talk about Gio, what she said, and Gio, Danny Newman says Trump will be, in history of the books, the best president of the United States ever had. I don't think so, my man. Or my lady, Donnie. I don't think so at all. I mean, but I think he's terrible on foreign relations and foreign policy. Enacting sanctions.
He doesn't understand cryptocurrency.
He doesn't have. Yeah, I thought he knew what neo-mercantilism
and taxing.
was.
I mean, the economic ways of giving money to his rich friends.
Yes.
And taking it away from the people that needed most.
Yes.
I mean, and just that is not productive. If you want to look at it strictly, non-emotionally, regardless of his words, whatever, we're looking at how he deals with economics. I don't think so, because in that regard, he's not really growing the economy for the people that need it. He's only growing it for the people
who have money in the stock market.
Which is
he'll be the best president ever for people in the stock market. Even Obama was good for people with money in the stock market. The thing is also, I think Donald Trump has not paid any attention really, and I can't point the finger to the Democrats who've paid attention. Obama didn't pay attention to poverty, to homelessness. You know what I'm saying? It's a very serious problem that no politician is addressed for a long time, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. It's the thing that really hurts me the most and makes me cry is when I see poor people, homeless people on the street in the richest nation in the world. It's just unacceptable, and we're over 600,000, and in LA we have a lot of people. We have over 60,000.
65,000.
Yeah, 65,000. The number keeps
and that's
raising,
not counting the people that are homeless sleeping in other people's houses.
Yeah.
Homeless sleeping in their cars.
Which is illegal.
There's different types of homelessness now.
Yeah.
And now they can arrest you for standing somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's legal now. So they're criminalizing poverty, which is that needs to be addressed too.
So Donnie, we appreciate you watching our show. We disagree. We love you to watch our show. We want people outside our echo chamber. We never stray away from that. We disagree, but we respect your opinion.
Yeah.